Chapter 1 of the Gemini, from the Zodiac Collection. Chapter 1, Prologue, Chicago, Illinois, 2004. The June sun bled across the Chicago sky, painting the kitchen of the twins' house on 17th Street with a final, defiant blaze. Grey, 80 years old, hunched over the table, his crayon scratching out a lopsided dinosaur, its green tail sprawling across the page. Across from him, Gemma, his twin by mere minutes, born on the first day of June 1996, meticulously doodled a single, perfect star in her worn sketchbook, her dark hair curtaining her face. Their mum, Lila, hummed a soft tune as she stirred spaghetti, her voice weaving through the kitchen like a lullaby. Their dad, Tom, chopped tomatoes with a steady rhythm, the heartbeat of their home. "My Geminis," Lila murmured, ruffling Grey's hair as she passed. "Your drawings are always so magical." She leaned down, flour dusting her apron to kiss Gemma's forehead. Tom grinned and tossed a tomato slice toward Grey, who caught it mid-air with delighted laughter. "Our little twins," Tom winked at Gemma. "Look at you two honing your craft. Grey with his dinos, Gemma with her stars. You guys are growing up too fast." Gemma giggled, sticking out her tongue in mock rebellion. Grey felt the moment settle deep into his bones, as steady and endless as Lake Michigan waves just blocks away. That night, the house held its breath. Grey lay awake clutching his stuffed dinosaur, worn soft from countless nights of comfort. A sudden chill crept through his window, and something felt wrong, the air thick and pressing. His heart hammered against his ribs as he padded to his door and peered across the hall. Gemma's door stood ajar, her small form motionless beneath the covers. "Gemma," he whispered, creeping into her room. She stirred, blinking sleepily. "Grey, what's wrong?" Her voice trembled slightly. He knelt beside her bed. "Just stay close, okay?" Before she could answer, a sharp crack split the silence. A gunshot, loud and terribly wrong. Lila's scream tore through the house, raw and desperate. "No, please!" Tom's roar followed, then two more shots, heavier and final. Chaos erupted from downstairs, crashes and shouting, the terrible sounds of violence. Grey's breath caught. Gemma bolted upright, gasping. "Hide!" he hissed, gripping her hand. He pulled her to the closet, and they crouched behind hanging clothes, Gemma trembling against him. "Stay here," he whispered, steadier than he felt. "I need to see what's happening. Don't move." Gemma nodded, clutching her star-patterned blanket, eyes wide in the darkness. Grey crept out, bare feet, silent on cold hardwood. He edged toward the stairs, drawing courage from the dinosaur toy still gripped in his small fist. The living room below was devastated, furniture overturned, the lamp shattered. And there, his stomach lurched, his parents on the floor. Still, lifeless, dark stains spread beneath them. Two figures in dark hoodies lay crumpled nearby, one slumped against the overturned couch, the other sprawled face down on the rug, both motionless, both bleeding. Grey's mind reeled. What had happened here? Then he saw the third man, standing in the shadows near the back door, unhooded. His dark coat was torn, and he radiated a presence that made Grey's skin prickle. Older, with a cruel scar cutting across his jaw. A bloodied knife glinted in his hand. Grey froze as cold eyes found him across the wreckage. But instead of menace, he saw something unexpected. Sorrow. Deep, profound regret. The man's gaze moved to Lila's still form, then to Tom's, and his shoulders sagged as if carrying an unbearable weight. In that moment of confusion, Grey's 8-year-old logic clicked into place. This man killed them. Rage exploded through his small frame. With a wordless cry, he charged down the stairs, his stuffed dinosaur raised like a weapon. The man moved with startling speed, sidestepping easily, then bolted toward the back door. As he fled, moonlight caught something at his throat, a distinctive pendant that flashed once before disappearing into the night. Gemma screamed upstairs, raw and primal and wrong. For a heartbeat, the room grew heavy. electricity crackling across Grey's skin and making every hair stand on end. He raced back to her, pulling her close as she sobbed into his shoulder. They huddled together as sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder, painting the windows in pulsing red and blue. Heavy boots thundered up the stairs. Police officers swept in, faces grim, movements precise as they surveyed the carnage below. Grey clung to Gemma, their blanket a fragile shield against the sudden intrusion of uniforms and radios. "Looks like a home invasion," one officer muttered. "2 suspects down, but—" He spoke quietly into his radio about a possible third perpetrator, someone who'd fled the scene. Grey heard fragments. "Different weapons, clean, kills on the intruders, doesn't fit the pattern. Focus on securing the perimeter," the captain ordered, his voice sharp. "I want a full search for that third individual. He's dangerous." The room hummed with their methodical movements, the click of cameras, the murmur of directives, all driven by a logical, albeit incomplete, assessment of the tragedy before them. They saw a brutal crime, a deadly invasion by an unknown, highly skilled assailant. What they didn't see, couldn't fathom, were the lingering shadows of a cruel scar, a mysterious pendant, or the echo of a child's inexplicable scream. For them, it was a break-in. For Grey, it was the beginning of an unsolvable riddle. Then Margaret burst through the door, silver hair wild, eyes red with grief. She gathered Gemma into her arms, rocking gently while singing a lullaby, her voice steady despite trembling hands. Marco wrapped Grey in a fierce hug, his flannel shirt smelling of coffee and sawdust. "We've got you both," he said, voice rough but certain. "No one's touching you again." As they led the twins away, Grey glanced back at the broken windows of their home, vacant eyes staring into the suffocating night. Gemma's voice, small and shattered, cut through his thoughts. "I forgot to kiss Mum and Dad goodnight." Her words hit him like a physical blow, insecurity and terror wrapped together. The scarred man's pendant and Gemma's scream burned themselves into his memory, pieces of a puzzle too vast for an 8-year-old mind to solve. But someday, he would be ready to unravel it all.